Well, joining us now is Roy Rottenberg. He's over in the Romanian capital, Bucharest, for all the latest on this story. Roy, let's talk about what you're hearing over here, because the Chinese premier has been talking about that vision over with Chinese businesses. He's talking about the potential, the investment opportunities, but you've been talking to the delegates there from the Central, from the Eastern European states. What do you think they're all saying together?
Well, they feel that this is a good opportunity for them. We heard from some of the representatives from Latvia, from Poland, for the Czech Republic, and it seems to be the same message. These are political delegates, and of course there are business participants here. But the message seems to be that China can only help this region grow. Now, if you look, you just mentioned the trade between China and this part of the world, between China and even the EU. If you actually look at the total number of trade, the part that Eastern Europe and Central Europe make up is actually 1/10 of China's trade with the EU. So these countries are keen to have a larger share of that pie. Now, when you get the Chinese leadership coming here, when you have the Premier Li Keqiang coming here, he was received warmly with much anticipation. It's a positive sign for them that China means business. We heard from the Romanian Prime Minister, the message here is that Romania is open for business, and that is indeed the same message that we've heard from some of the other delegates here as they're talking about the possible areas for investment in infrastructure, in telecoms, and in energy.
Roy, you just mentioned there that these 16 countries, or at least some of them, make up the great pillars of the European Union and its trade with China. They're also individually some of Europe's poorest, most underdeveloped countries. How far do they stand to benefit individually from this new partnership with China?
Well, the idea here, and we heard it from Li Keqiang himself, is that he wants to establish a more balanced approach. He believes that that trade should be more fairly shared. The allusion here, of course, being to that 1/10, 9/10 division, but also that he wants to see a steady trade with China. Those were his words. He wants to ensure that China doesn't have a surplus, but that the trade goes both ways. As he mentioned, very ambitious plan here. The trade between this area and China doubled in the last 15 years. Li Keqiang saying he wants to double it again in the next 5 years. So a great ambition here, and a lot of the countries feel this could actually help them. But how does it actually help them? It's not just today, they say, it's in the long term. So we saw a deal emerge, for example, on a high-speed rail line between that would link Serbia and Hungary. This would be the first high-speed rail line east of Austria and Germany. Of course, the rail network there very much established, but here in this part of Europe it's not. Well, the Chinese are coming with the know-how. A lot of times they come with the finance, but the long-term effect is that they link these two countries. It helps create jobs, and the economic growth continues long after China's initial investment has already dried up. That's at least the perspective from these delegates here, and they feel that while they are the poor economies in Europe, the ones with smaller economic growth, if you will, or output, they are leading with economic growth. We heard from the Deputy Foreign Minister of Latvia, who, by the way, spoke in Mandarin to the crowd, saying that Latvia is on track for excellent economic growth perspectives for the coming year, and encouraged China to continue investing not just in the region, but of course in his country.
Roy Rottenberg joining us there over in Bucharest. Thanks very much for that.